Hello, my goons, minions, and soon-to-be servants of the Nimzy Nova Empire. Let's chat about the Switch 2 launch game lineup. It's not news that a system's lineup will decide whether a system succeeds or fails. Sure, Nintendo is always going to sell well because it's Nintendo, and if you thought that, well, you might need to get your head checked because you already forgot about the Wii U and how it was dead on release due to a small launch pool. Well, the Switch 2 lineup isn't great, but let's take a look through them anyway. Mario Kart World. This is one that the majority of us are going to get day one. Even though I don't like racing games, I've already said I'm getting it. I got the bundle version that comes with Mario Kart World because it made the purchase more expensive, and I thought most people would buy the Switch 2 solo system because it's cheaper. So by buying the bundle, I might have secured my pre-order spot in the situation they have to cancel some. Besides, it's another Mario Kart game. Everyone loves Mario Kart, except me, I guess. But yeah, Nintendo also said that the Switch pre-orders were underperforming compared to what they thought they were going to do. So maybe I didn't actually have to buy the Mario Kart version at all. Nintendo Switch 2 Welcome Tour. Reggie leaving Nintendo was the worst thing to happen to the companies because this game is another tech demo that should have been bundled in with the system like Wii Sports or Nintendo Land. Reggie Fils-Aimé was the one to convince them to include pack-in titles in the first place. Well, they did it before, but they haven't done it in a long time, not since between the Game Boy Color and the Wii. Game Boy Color came with Tetris. Banger. Well, Welcome Tour seems even more like a tech demo, or like a user manual for the system, which if that's the case, it makes me wonder why it wasn't included with the system. We all know it's because money. In the trailer for it, you can see that the majority of the game is about showing off the features of the system, like the mouse, gyros, kickstands, and the like. The majority of it is done through like user manuals, but digital, with a couple small mini games. I'm excited for most of these features, but I know most games won't incorporate any of these features outside of Nintendo properties. The mini games included also look really small, and it doesn't look like a game. It looks like something you'd give to third-party devs to try and get them to integrate these features. It just has a very corporate appearance and feel to it, which doesn't scream Nintendo fun to me, not like Nintendo Land did. You can also tell Nintendo doesn't care about it either because it's digital only. I probably wouldn't play it even if it was free. They should have done Nintendo Land 2 instead. But because the Wii U was such a massive flop, I'm thinking they're scared to touch most things that made the Wii U, well, I think they're scared to touch most things that were cool about the Wii U. Even though, you know, the Wii U flopped, the Wii U did have a lot of cool stuff about it, and Nintendo Land 2 was probably one of the better launch titles that Nintendo has put out. Most of you haven't played it because they haven't ported it over, but Nintendo Land 2, I think, is better than Wii Sports is. Like, nothing shows off Nintendo quite like Nintendo Land did. Cyberpunk 2077 Ultimate Edition. I have a gaming PC. If I was going to play this, I would have played it already. With how bad the launch of the original game was, I don't have much faith in CD Projekt Red as a developer. I'm glad they fixed it, but no thanks. But who knows? This could be what finally gets me to play it. For those new to it, Cyberpunk 2077 is a cyberpunk-themed FPS RPG based on the tabletop game of the same name. It's a big RPG with a lot to do, and lots of simulation elements. If you like this sort of thing, it's a good game to get, but it did have an atrocious launch, basically non-functioning on most platforms, so everyone had to wait a while for the game to be, you know, in a playable state. Split Fiction, another multi-platform release. If I played this, it would also be on PC. This is a co-op game centered around two female protagonists who become trapped in stories of their own creation when they get connected to a machine designed to steal ideas. Sounds like it's anti-AI, and like it could be commentary on the game industry and how it likes to chew up and spit out talented creators. Maybe I'll get it on sale. Breath of the Wild Switch 2 Edition. If you're buying a Switch 2, you likely already had a Switch 1 and have played Breath of the Wild. I don't see a reason to buy it a second, well, actually third time for me because I did get it on the Wii U. I had fun with it, and I'm not even really a Zelda fan, so if you somehow haven't played it yet, get the Switch 1 version, it'll be cheaper. Tears of the Kingdom, Switch 2. Second verse, same as the first, but Totka didn't really run great on the Switch 1. So if the Switch 2 version runs better, it might actually be worth it, but at the same time, the Switch 1 version will likely lower in price when Totka comes out on the Switch 2. So you could get the Switch 1 version, which should supposedly run better because Nintendo did say that the Switch 2 would run our Switch 1 games better. Hitman World of Assassination Signature Edition. Re-release of the 2022 game. Again, another port. Not really interested in buying the Switch 2 version of a game that's cheaper elsewhere. Hitman, for those who don't know, is a game about stealth where you'll play a super agent who will try to break into places and assassinate targets. But what's cool is that Agent 47 is a chameleon of sorts. He's able to blend in nearly anywhere, and using his skills of disguise and stealth, he can take out a target even in the middle of a crowded club or in broad daylight. Bravely Default Flying Fairy HD Remaster. This one is a remake of the original Bravely Default, and this is kind of late. They released the sequel to Bravely Default on the first Switch, but never ported or remade the first Bravely Default. So the first Bravely Default is currently stuck on the 3DS. Weird choice. They probably should have re-released it when they released the sequel. I think it might be worthwhile to get this one. I personally love Bravely Default, and I haven't gotten around to playing the second one. I'll definitely be getting this, probably not at launch, but it's $40, which is the perfect price to be able to play it once again. For those who don't know, it's a turn-based RPG by Square Enix. Square has decided to make Final Fantasy more of an action game moving forward, but Bravely Default continues the turn-based legacy of Final Fantasy and even features the very popular job system from Final Fantasy V. Yakuza 0 Director's Cut. Personally, I don't need to buy Yakuza 0 a third time. I'll wait and get a collection if they ever do it. Also, these are on Game Pass. Pretty much all the Yakuza games are on Game Pass all the time. These games are just frankly way too long for me to play. That's being said by Overlord Nimzy, the slayer of RPGs. So I'm used to 50-hour games, but having 6 of these out, plus Like a Dragon and Ishin? Please stop releasing new ones and just give us some time to actually beat them. Yakuza 0, for my fellow gaijin out there, is an action brawler RPG where you play Kazuma Kiryu, a Yakuza-gun who accidentally involves himself with a plan greater than him. Kiryu ends up being the fall guy, and that's pretty much all I remember. It's a neat game, and it has a lot of things to do, like play mahjong, beat up people, play classic Sega arcade games, beat up people, and race mini cars. Oh, and beat up people. I don't know if I mentioned that one. Deltarune 1 through 4. This is a side story to the hit RPG game Undertale. For those who don't know, Undertale was wildly popular, not just in the US, but in Japan too. I remember Megalovania actually being in Taiko no Tatsujin, but yeah, apparently it's huge in Japan, so it makes sense that Deltarune is launching in full on the Switch too. Personally, I hate chapter-based releases. I always end up waiting for the full release, or I just don't buy them in general and watch someone else play them on YouTube. I didn't play Undertale because I was spoiled the game when I streamed it. The game says it's an RPG that you can play however you want. Then I had people shouting at me for not playing Pacifist first. It was annoying. I don't really care for the fan base. It was fun, what I played at least, and $25 is a good deal too. They could have easily overcharged for it, unfortunately digital only, and I like to buy physical for my systems. Sonic X Shadow Generations. It's a Sonic game. Does anyone play these at their launch? I'm going to wait for a steep sale and play it then. I'm big on Sonic Adventure 2, and I don't really have an interest in anything but the Chow Garden, so I haven't touched a Sonic game in decades. It's your standard $60 game, so I'm not paying that much for Sonic. Fortnite. It's Fortnite. It's free. I'll probably play it at least a little. Civilization 7. I haven't played a Civ game since 3, and it was at a LAN party. If y'all have never heard of a LAN party, basically it's where everyone brought their computers and they would plug them into a big hub, and they would play in person because the internet wasn't very common yet and it wasn't very good at the time, so it wasn't very good for online play. So people would come in and bring all their computers to one place and they'd hook them all into each other and, you know, play that way. Yeah, it's the internet kind of killed that one. I kind of miss them though. Anyway, strategy games have never been my thing, so I don't think I'll have much interest in this either, and it's a multi-platform game, so again, I could just wait for a Steam sale, thank you. Basically, Civ is a strategy series where you're trying to build up your civilization, and it has a multiplayer component where you compete with each other to build up your civilization to the space race first. Survival Kids. A new game from Konami that isn't actually a new game. Sign me up. Daddy Konami gave me the Castlevania collections for free in exchange for reviews, so I gotta do some mouth exercises real quick and suck up to Konami to see if I can get this one too. Survival Kids is a series that's been dead for a little bit. Basically, it's a survival game that's co-op. In the original Survival Kids, it was a GBC game that involved crafting and solving puzzles and trying to survive on a desert island. Kunitsugami, Path of the Goddess. This one kind of slipped under my radar, but it's been out for a year already on PC. You already know my stance on ports. I won't be buying them on Switch. I'll probably play it on PC. I love Japanese mythology and history, so I'll be checking this one out at some point. And since it's a single player game, it's not like I'm missing out on playing it by just waiting until there's a sale. It has 100% positivity score on Steam for recent reviews, and it's made by Capcom, so it's probably a secret banger. Also, it has an Okami crossover in it, so that's cool. Puyo Puyo Tetris 2S. It's more Puyo Puyo Tetris. I got the point with the first one. I don't need to play the ported sequel. Puyo Tetris is exactly what it sounds like. It's Tetris and Puyo Pop combined, and it's a really good matchup. It works way better than you think it would, but I'm not super big on puzzle games outside of Puzzle Quest. Rune Factory Gardens of Ozma. I am obsessed with Rune Factory. I won't have the money to buy this one at launch because, you know, I bought the more expensive system, but I promise it's going to be a very early buy for me. Rune Factory is a wonderful action RPG combined with homesteading. My Stardew Valley friends don't like it because it has too much combat. Womp womp. They're missing out. But that's fine with me. I can appreciate harvesting crops and lives. Fast Fusion. From what I've seen, this is kind of like Wipeout or F-Zero. It's another one of those racer games that are super fast with futuristic vehicles. It's super cheap too at just $15, but you know, it's not really my thing. Street Fighter 6. Multi-platform title that I can get on any system. I'm not going to get it on the Switch too. If you don't know what Street Fighter is, please wake up from your coma. Your family misses you. Arcade Archives Ridge Racer, a re-release of an old racing game. I'll pass. I don't even know why this was mentioned as a launch title. This isn't really worth mentioning. It's not a special release for the Switch 2. Arcade Archives have been re-releasing games for a while now. Is anyone really nostalgic for Ridge Racer? Hogwarts Legacy. J.K. Rowling has enough money, and besides, you'll never see me buying a Harry Potter title, let alone even pirate it. I didn't like it growing up, and as an adult, and finding out that J.K. Rowling hates people that I'd call friends, well, she's a poor judge of character. I hope the black mold eats her house. That's it. That's all 21 Switch 2 games that you will see at launch, and as you can see, the launch lineup is kinda poopy. It's mostly remasters or ports, but I'd be lying if I said there wasn't anything I wanted. That Rune Factory game, I'm willing to eat instant ramen for the next year to play. But having a poor launch lineup isn't going to spell doom for the Switch 2, because the whole launch month is going to be packed with new games. They didn't make the Wii U mistake again. The Wii U didn't have anything good for almost a year, so I think the Switch 2 will be fine with this lineup, and if not, the backwards compatibility with the Switch 1 means we can still play our old games or get new Switch 1 games to buy them sometime. Anyway, tell me what games you're wanting below. But for now, bye. Bye 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 bye.